Hi Booktube. So I'm back here making videos after a bit of a hiatus. I think the last time I spoke to you was in July when I was doing the Deck of TBR-a-thon, and I was hoping and planning to do weekly updates for that of all the books I was reading for the different prompts and challenges. But life just got in the way and I got sidetracked with different vacations and trips and work and things like that. And I feel like I've come to a reckoning this year in particular of it's the time isn't the free time to make videos isn't just gonna fall into my lap. I have to make the time and make it a priority. And I feel like I know that's a common sense kind of thing to say, but whether it's making videos or whatever you want to make a priority, you're always like waiting for this time to do it, and that isn't always the case. So I need to make this more of part of my daily routine. And I noticed in the past, when I've done like a more rigid schedule, it works for me better. Like the daily vlogs. I know I did that. I've done that a couple of times here and there. I haven't always been able to complete a month's worth of daily vlog, but something like that, like where I have like a momentum that I've built up. So even though it goes against, I don't want to have like a scheduled like Monday, Wednesday, Friday kind of video filming. So I feel like having a more routine, a set schedule would help me a lot more, because I'm like, oh, I'll just, for right now what's happening is like, oh, I'll do it the next day, and then I get busy with something, like, oh, then I do it the next day, and it just gets rolling, and I'm making myself feel bad. And yeah, I just need to make some time for this. So all that being said, since I've been gone, my most recent trip, I went to Seattle, Washington, and it's only 2 hours or so away from me, and I don't know why I don't go more often, because I only go like once every 2 years or so, which is just absolutely silly, because there's so many bookstores there. And so I went to many used bookstores, and I have not one, not two, I don't like 6 or 7 piles of books here to share with you. And I thought that'd be a good way to get back into making videos, and then I'll do an update on what I've been reading and all that in a future video. But that was an easy way to show what I've been up to. So I've had lots of fun picking books, and they go across all the different genres. I even have a literary fiction. Look at me. Look at me. I don't really read a lot of literary fiction, but I have one of those. I have some older books and nonfiction and YA and middle grade and children's and all of the things. So let's get into the books. And I didn't keep track of where I got these books at. Because there's only one store that gave me a bookmark. I should have made a mental note to ask at each store to give me a bookmark, but oh well. Like I said, I feel like I went to every single used bookstore in the Olympia, Tacoma, Seattle, like all of that, all the way around, like the lake area of Seattle and all the way back. So I went to a lot of stores. So I will start with the miscellaneous of sorts, because I have like books and are more books in the other categories than I do with these. So the literary fiction book is, at least I think it's literary fiction. I've never read it, but I've heard about this author, Claire Keegan, from Booktube, the UK Booktubers, and because I've never seen her in the local stores here, although I don't really buy a lot of new books, so I don't really pay attention to that as much as I should. But this is Foster, and I know nothing about it. It has like newspapers from Ireland, so I wonder if she's an Irish author. Like I like I said, I've heard of this name, but I have no recollection at all of who she is, because I've never read her. But yeah, okay, Irish literature. She won the Rooney Prize for Irish literature, Walk the Blue Fields, and this is, see, what's this one about? Foster, yeah, it's a hot summer in rural Ireland. A child is taken by her father to live with relatives on a farm, not knowing when or if she will be brought home again. Okay, maybe that's how she becomes a foster. Okay, it's a short book, and I like the format here, where even though it's a tiny book, like it looks like it's less than, yeah, it's 88 pages, but it has the French flaps, and it has a sturdy binding, and it's floppy. I really like it. Who made this? Faber. I want to get more Faber books, because sometimes I've seen UK books in the past, like the trades trade paperbacks, and they can often be stiff, like very stiff binding. It's hard to open. I feel like I'm going to immediately crack the spine, but I really like this one. Maybe it's just because it's a smaller book, or I need to look up this not the author, the publisher, for more of these. But yeah, so I have this one, and we'll see what I think of it. It should be a very quick read. And yeah, then I'll have to look up all the different UK booktubers to see what other books they've recommended. I don't know if they've recommended this one or not. But yeah, like I said, I've heard about this author. Okay, then I have an author I do know something about. This is Broken by Don Winslow. And this is a collection of some of his, like, it seems like short stories of his fiction works. I am familiar with, what is the series called? Like this, City on Fire, I think is the name. Did this book come out before that series came out? Because I don't see it listed here. It's 6 short novels, but this came out in 2020. I think it was City on Fire. Yeah, it's right here, City on Fire, but it's not listed. It's weird. It's not listed on his list of books at all. Someone read this before and like crossed off the books they've read. But anyway, so I read that there's that trilogy, and it was about Rhode Island and California and the Italian mob and like mafia. So it's like in the vein of like Sopranos and Goodfellas and all of that, which is normally not it's not something I would ever really gravitate towards. I've seen those movies, but not by choice. Like not by volunteer. Like someone else was watching the movies and I was watching them too, but I didn't choose them. That kind of thing. Yeah, they were okay. It's not my thing at all. But for some reason, I really like. I've heard about City on Fire, and like I heard like really good recommendations for it, so I want to give it a try. And I ended up really liking it. It still has like it's still a bit like with the mafia stuff, the mob stuff. I don't know what the difference is, the mob and the mafia. But I liked it, and so I saw this and I had to pick it up because I've only read that trilogy. I haven't read anything else by this author, and he's written many a book. So we'll have to see what I think make of this outside that trilogy. See if I want to read more, because who knows? Maybe I'll turn into a mob aficionado. I'm like laughing at myself thinking about it. Not that I'm making fun of anyone that likes that kind of thing. It's just not something I gravitate towards. So it's funny for me to think of myself doing that. Then I have a cozy mystery by Lorna Barrett, Handbook for Homicide, a Booktown mystery. I saw this at a little free library, and I couldn't pass it up. It includes recipes. And I don't know what book in a series. I wish these things were numbered. It would be easier to figure out, but it doesn't tell me at all. She's written many books. I've never heard of this author or this series before, and I have no idea if it's the first book or not. Maybe it is because there's a cast of characters listed here, but there's a sticker in the way. But it's like mystery bookstore owner Trisha something. It's like blocking. I can't see. She's trying to catch a killer, and her assistant manager is accused of the crime. So we'll see what I think. Let me know if you've heard of this series before. Now, I like the cover with like the crow or the raven that's on, like there's like their mascot or something. Looks cool. And then I have Murder at a Vineyard Mansion, a Martha's Vineyard mystery by Philip R. Craig. I feel like I've seen this on someone's channel a year or two ago, but I can't remember anything. So I was vaguely, when I saw this, it wasn't like I'd never heard it before. Like I've heard it from somewhere, but I have no idea what to make of it. It's a Scribner crime novel. It's a recent acclaim at the Good Morning America Book Choice. I'm not sure if this book was chosen or if the author was chosen for that. But does he live on Martha's Vineyard? No. Okay, wait, hold on. It's saying he grew up in Durango, Colorado. And where does he live now? Okay, he's a professor of English at Wheelock College in Boston. And he now lives year-round on Martha's Vineyard. Okay, so he grew up in Colorado, but now is on Martha's Vineyard. That's like a dream location. Talk about these like summer trips. I would love to make a summer trip to Martha's Vineyard, but I'm like on the other side of the country, so it's a trek to get over there. But I'm gonna do it one day. I'm determined. Okay. So then we'll switch genres completely because I kind of have these grouped and we'll switch to fiction. We're still in fiction, but I found at another little free library, because I always, when I travel or when I'm driving, just in general, I have a bag of books in the back of my car. So if I see a little free library, I can I have something to exchange. So I exchanged like a whole bag of books to get these. And I feel like this is, well, Sarah, the book is in there, she changed her channel name to something with the romance books, but I can't remember. I'll leave a link in the description below, hopefully, if I remember, to her channel. But I saw these and thought of her, and I was like, I have to read these and then see if she wants these, because I found a whole stack of these older Harlequin romances, and then I found this other series I've never heard of before, but there's some kind of romantic genre, and I love the artwork of these and just the style. This one's called The Impossible Marriage. This is like the original Harlequin series. This is number 1855, and they all seem to come out like the 60s and or so when I was looking through these, cleaning them up. This one came out in 1974, so a lot of them are like that, but yeah, I just thought, these are really quick reads, perfect for like a Garwagas kind of book. And I have been reading books for Garwagas. I'll make an update on that. Like I said, on a future video of what I've been reading. But yeah, I feel like this, I think there's a category, a prompt for that, for reading Harlequin romances. So I have a lot of them. Love Alters Not. Like this cover, I don't know. I like the painted cover. This is number 1191, so that's an older one. When did this one? And this one right here is falling apart. I can see, I don't know if you can see, there's like pages getting ready to just come right out of the binding. This one came out in 1967, and it's not a reprint or anything, so maybe it's an original. This is by Flora Kidd, and Lillian Peake is this one. Yeah, I've never heard of any of these authors. In this little free library, I saw a bunch of Betty Neals like this. I've never read them, but I know it's like a doctor-nurse relationship. Don't care for that, so I didn't pick up any of those. I didn't look up any of these at all, so we'll have to see what I think of them. The Runaway Visitors, Eleanor Farnes is the author. And yeah, I don't know, she's like daydreaming or something. It's like a dreamy kind of cover. Then we have To Trust My Love by Sandra Field. Has a discard stamp on it, but it's like, it doesn't have it anywhere else, so it's not like, they covered in like library discard stickers. Oh, I forgot to mention the numbers here. Like, I don't know if it matters. This is number 1870. So like the oldest one I have, I think, is the 1191 one, maybe. I didn't organize these at all, but this is number 1191, and we'll see. Oh, never mind. There's some older ones in here. There's a 787. The Two Faces of Nurse Roberts. That's kind of creepy. I don't know, something about her face. And this is by Nora Sanderson. And so this is the oldest book I have. When did this one come out? 1963. So this is the oldest one I have. And the newest one is this one. 2322. One More River to Cross by S.C. Summers. And this one came out in 79. So I have from, what did I say, 63 to 79 is the era that I have for these. Okay. And then Deep in the Forest by Joyce Dingwell. Looks like they're going camping or something, like in the mountains. Folly to Be Wise by Sarah Seal. And then A Place Called Paradise by S.C. Summers. It's the same author as that other one. This is number, it's hard to see, 1156. So yeah, I like these covers. Hopefully I'll like the books. I've read some of these older books in the past for the Retro Romance readathon, where you're reading older books from like 20 years ago or prior. And they can, for me, be a bit, because like the guy is often very like domineering, the woman like, I don't know, it's like very passive, and like, or the insta love and things like that. I don't care for anything like that. So we'll see what I make of these. But I got them for free, so I mean, there's that. I can just put them back into a little free library if I don't like them. And then I have a newer book, Harlequin Presents by Sandra Field, The Land of Maybe. This is number 1416. And it's like Mariah had once been in love, but is now unhappy. So I'm sure she'll meet this guy and become happy again. I don't know. This came out in 1990. If it was a reprint or something, yeah, no, 1990. Okay, and then I have this other series. I've never heard of it before, but again, I like the artwork, and it's like this is romantic suspense, and I love like suspense. I love mystery. So I saw all these. I was like, okay, I'll give these a try. So this is Portrait of Love by Jean de Sakari. Portrait of Love, an ugly secret prevented her from loving him. And I love, like, when as a kid, I loved like the gothic, suspenseful romance kind of stories, and so if these are like that, then that'll be perfect. Perfect for like Halloween, or October. Lured by Greed by Alex Andre. I wonder if these are all international authors. Oh yeah, look at these, like the ad in the back. And they all have like this Paris, the Eiffel Tower logo, like this one does. And so I wonder if are these all like French authors maybe. And again, I didn't look at these at all before. I'm showing them with you or when I got them. So I wonder if it says anything about where the author, and look at like the where you can write when you own the book. And so let's see. These are from Ontario, Canada. Stratford, Ontario. And this came out in 1980. So these must be Canadian. Okay. Fly South to Danger by Suzanne Claus. A reckless search led her to a maze of secrets. The Seagull by Jean Daster. And I can't speak French, by the way. So I'm like, I know I'm probably butchering the names. This is number 16. I forgot to mention the numbers for these. Snows of Offenburg by Alex Andre. Terror and death stalk an ancient castle. And I like same with the Harlequins. Like the number doesn't matter, reading them in order. Like for a collector, you want to make sure you have, I guess, all the different numbers. But you don't have to read these in order. These are just when they, order of published date. Return to Foxdale by Leo Darty. The Perfect Crime, or So It Seemed. Number 66. And then the last one here is Loss of Innocence by Magali. A stroke of fate took everything from her. Maybe a car crash? Okay, and it's number 24. So those are all of the romance books I have. And then we'll switch completely to nonfiction. Because there was one bookstore I went to here in Oregon. And it was very easy. I hate when there's like, stickers, especially stickers that are hard to get off. You can't always control that when you go to a used bookstore. This one was very easy. All mass markets were $1. And then trade paperbacks were $2. And then hardbacks were $3 or $4, like depending on something. I have no idea. She didn't elaborate on that. But still, it was very easy to browse knowing those prices. Because then it's like I can pick up anything and I'm not gonna like break the bank. I love those kind of bookstores. Where I don't have to like worry about, okay, I need to be extra careful and diligent about what I'm picking up. I can just pick up things willy-nilly and it's not gonna hurt me. So I got a handful of books at this bookstore. The Old Post Road? Oh, Post. Oh my gosh. I need to read the subtext here because that looks like an F for some reason. The Old Post Road by Stuart H. Holbrook. The story of the Boston Post Road. From the first writer in 1673 to present day, whenever this book was published. So present day is 1962. And it's a bit banged up, but for $3, like I'll take it. I've never seen this book before. So, and it looked in the inside, these are, what counts. And it was, the binding and everything was really good. It's really good paper quality. It has like, it's very sturdy. And there is this. And this will fit in line with like, Martha's Vineyard. Like I've always wanted to go to Boston and Massachusetts. There's so much history there. Not just, American or U.S. history, but also like the literary history, the public library and things like that. I've always wanted to see. So I really like how there are these pictures, these drawings in between chapters. Like that's lovely. This is the Upper Road, Springfield to Windsor. Yeah, so it's like one of those like, what is it called? Like keyhole histories. Okay, then I have Girlhood Days. This is the fourth in the series. It says Memories of Hoosier Homemakers by Eleanor Arnold. Hoosier, isn't that Indiana? Yeah, Indiana. Okay. It's like a local Indiana publisher. It's from, the project is the Indiana Extension Homemakers Association. That's really cool. They're collecting the history from that area. And when did this come out? 1987. And this is number 4 in the series. There was number 2. But that one was really in rough shape. This is like in perfect condition. There's no problem at all. It's not falling apart like the other one. So I just got this one. And there's even some pictures in here of babies. And what is this one? Sunday evening picnic with the young people in the neighborhood. And there is the schools. The students. Let's see. And there's one, there's one of pets. Growing up in the rural and small town areas, what the caption says. That dog has a hat on. I think it does. Yeah, so this will be fun to read. And look at these children. Look at the boy. But this will be like really quick to read, and it's like kind of you can pick up and put down a lot because it's not a straightforward narrative. There's like, it's just little quotes from people of the time. And so it gives you their name, age, and the county that they're in. So like 70-year-old and 53-year-old and 68-year-old and 83. So back in the good old days kind of thing. So this will be fun to browse through. And then a book I used to own years and years ago, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't have got rid of it. I do get rid of a lot of the books I read. And so this is the one I was like, oh, I regret it. So this is Stonewall in the Valley, Thomas J. Stonewall Jackson, Shenandoah Valley Campaign, Spring 1862 by Robert G. Tanner. And it's like a mini biography of Stonewall Jackson, and it focuses on what he's most famous for. I feel like in his valley campaigns, where he would, in the Shenandoah Valley, he knew that area. He used to live there and teach there, and so he would weave in between the different mountain ridges and ranges, and to escape or evade or confront the Union Army, depending on the circumstance. And he would move his soldiers very quickly through this area, all on foot. So I want to give this a reread. Then we have Journal and Letters of Philip Vickers Fithian, a plantation tutor of the Old Dominion, 1773 to 74. A very plain cover, but a tutor of that era, not the tutors, but like a school tutor. And so this seemed very interesting because I've heard about the different tutors of not just old Virginia, but speaking of like Boston, you read about these different tutors that are mentioned, but to actually have like a diary of their experience it's just fascinating. So I'm really looking forward to this. Oh, the book's just dropped. Oh, well, that's to be expected. I'm like building towers here, but I'm like moving them from one tower to another, and yeah, there they go toppling. This one is Dear Madam by Stella Wathel Patterson. The refreshing adventures of a woman who at the age of 80 found a new life in the wilds of the Siskiyou Mountains near Happy Camp, California. I only know where Happy Camp is because I used to have a relative who was dating a girl who grew up in Happy Camp, and it's like a small town way, way, way up in Northern California, kind of close to the Oregon border, but like by itself, not near any major freeway or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see what this book is about. It looks like, it kind of reminds me of The Egg and I by Betty McDonald, where she gets, like, her husband decides to start a chicken farm for eggs, and she gets like pulled into it, whether she wants to be or not. This woman's choosing it, but it's like full of like these funny tales, and so I feel like this is gonna be one of them. At least I'm hoping it is. It says coast to coast acclaim. So yeah, it's like this woman living alone with her dog Vicky in a cabin on her mining claim in the great timber forests along the Klamath River in Northern California. That's wild to do at age 80. So we'll see. But what I make of that one. And then we have String Too Short to Be Saved, Recollections of Summers on a New England Farm by Donald Hall. This is all like coming from like, oh, I wish I could do a New England summer that would, or fall, like, late summer into fall, that would be magical. But even though I can't be there right now, or at this moment, I can dream and picture it, and be there through their eyes. Okay, then we have Springtime in Britain by Edwin Way Teale. He wrote the books that the quartet I'm familiar with is his road trip with his wife through different areas of the United States during the different seasons. But I had no idea that he had, or this seems to be like this is some of the springtime, so I'm assuming there's other books like the same as the U.S. where there's the fall, winter, spring, summer of going through Britain. So, and this is in really good condition, and I just had never heard of this before, and so I need to look this up because I really like his writing. He focuses a lot on the nature writing, and so looking forward to that. And then we have the last nonfiction book is We'll All Go Home in the Spring, Personal Accounts and Adventures as Told by the Pioneers of the West by Robert A. Bennett. And it's like, the pioneer stories going from, middle America over to, Oregon, here in Oregon, the Oregon Trail. And these are like, I have an endless amount of books like this on my shelf. So I had to grab that one. Okay, so then we'll switch to YA, like young adult. And so the one new book I got was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. It's a graphic novel adapted by Stephanie Williams, and it's illustrated by Sass Millage. I read The Raven Boys years and years and years ago, like one of the first series I heard about here on Booktube. And so I grew up in the Shenandoah Valley area, and so that's what enticed me to pick it up way back when. And so I really like that series. It's about following the 4 kids who are in high school and from different areas of Virginia, like old Virginia money or trailer park. It has a whole range, and they all form this friendship and go on adventures. And so I like that idea. And so I got this adaptation. This is book number 1. So I guess they're gonna have follow the quartet like the books are. And so I haven't read this or heard anything about it, but one thing I'm concerned about is it's very, talking about like UK books where it's very stiff. This is very hard to open, so I hope it doesn't like absolutely ruining it. But let's figure, is there any, here's like the first page here. Oh, so I wanted to show you the artwork, because sometimes in graphic novels I notice like or comic books where the cover doesn't match the artwork inside. So I wanted to show what that looked like. So I'll have to report back once I read this one. And so speaking of Maggie Stiefvater, I got 2 other books by her. And this one seems very Irish. There's 4-Leaf Clovers. This is Lament, A Fairy Queen's Deception. So I haven't heard anything about this one. This is Don't You Know What Happens to Clover Hands Who Cannot Control the Fae? I'm not one to read fairy tale or fairies or fae books, but I'll give this a go since I have liked Maggie Stiefvater's work in the past. I've read The Raven Boys, and I tried to read the werewolf books. I read Shiver, didn't care for that much, and then I have read the Scorpio Races. But that's it for Maggie. I haven't read any of the others, and so this is all new to me. And then the other one I found was All the Crooked Saints. And this was one of her newer books. I think this is one of her first books that she had written, maybe. But I saw this, and so I grabbed it. Here is a thing everyone wants. A miracle. Here's a thing everyone fears. What it takes to get one. Okay. So we'll see what I think of it. And then we have going to older YA books. I found these and I couldn't pass them up. Let me see here. And this is I found all of these at a store in where was I at? In Independence, Oregon, near the capital of Salem. It's like a little college town. And it was really cute, actually. It has like a Victorian feel to it. So I found a bunch of these old point books. So we have Ellen Conford, 7 Days to a Brand New Me, and these I feel like could also fit in the theme of Garb August. Although now I have so many books I could pick for Garb August. I have all the romance, and then I have all these. So like I'm like up to my eyeballs in them. But these are all like really quick, like an hour read, so I can just fly right through them. Hopefully, if I have the time, because I haven't had time to do a bunch of Booktube video making or watching Booktube, and then I haven't had as much time as I would like to for reading. So I just gotta find the time. Who needs sleep? If I didn't have to sleep, that would open up a whole so many hours. Yeah, so these look like really fun, like older books, like from like the 80s and 90s. I grew up reading these as a kid. So they just look like lots of fun. And I don't know if I read these as a kid or not, but I know I read a bunch of but so like you know, I might get in the middle of this and like, oh yeah, I remember it. Maybe. I don't know. A Frog's Eye View by Rebecca Bussell. What will Neely's camera reveal? And these look, you know, when did these come out? Let's see. Because I've never heard this author in the 1990s. Yes, I would have read, you know, something like this as a kid. But yeah, I have no idea. Because sometimes I think, you know, oh well, will I remember if I read this book, you know, like from 20 years ago or something, or 30 years ago. But I read a lot as a kid. I've always read a lot. So I do remember what I read for the most part, but it would probably take me to like at least the middle of a story like this from that long ago to remember. I Love You, I Hate You, Get Lost. A collection of short stories by Ellen Conford. Oh, that's the same author as this one. And this is another point book. They also wrote like the point thrillers or point horrors, and that's where you see a lot of like the R.L. Stine kind of books, like the Fear Street kind of books. Speeding Bullet by Neil Shusterman. And yeah, this is an author I've heard about for like the horror books. What is this called? Discontinued by Julian F. Thompson. And then we have The Brightest Light Isn't Always the Warmest One by Colleen O'Shaughnessy McKenna. Oh boy. that whatever that name is. Oh. She's got like a moody teenager. Nobody that handsome had ever pulled into Romney, not since I was born. So it must be like she's dreaming about some popular boy. This one reminds me of like those 80s movies like Pretty in Pink or 16 Candles. Saturday Night by Carolyn B. Cooney. This author, she wrote like horror books, I want to say. So I didn't know she wrote like the teenage YA books. They'd fall in love or their hearts would break, but it would be a night they'd never forget. And then let me see, or let me grab this other stack here. I have a bunch of random books. So we have Babysitter's Club, Mary Ann's book. And I used to have one of these books a couple years ago. I read it and got rid of it, but now I wish I kept it because it highlighted the different characters, different friends in the Babysitter's Club. So there's Mary Ann, Claudia, Christy. I'm blinking on the other ones, like Jessie and Mallory, and there's one other one, like the blonde one from California. But anyway, so I had one of them, and I think it was Claudia, and I read it and got rid of it. But now, like, I'm like, I saw this, and like, I kept the other one. But it has like a portrait collection, so there's different like photos, and what is this picture of? YMCA? Oh, it's shoes. I think is it shoes? But it says YMCA. Okay. But yeah, there's different artwork. This one says, me with one guest too many for Mother's Day tea party. So there's that. And then I have these series I've never heard of before, but look like lots of fun. Again, I might have read these as a kid. I don't know. But there's a Clearwater Crossing series. Even Friends Have Secrets. This is Reality Check by Laura Payton Roberts. Number 4. This was number 2. And then we have number 4, Promises. Some things are better left unsaid. And then number 7, New Beginnings. Everyone has their own path to follow. So it's like following like a group of kids through school. And then I have this other series here, Cedar River Daydreams. New Girl in Town by Judy Baer. This is book number 1. She'd been popular back home. Why was it so hard to make friends now? So there's that one. I have book number 12, Vanishing Star. With the strange rumors about the house, why would anyone stay there? And then 21, A Special Kind of Love. Suddenly she felt like a stranger in her own home. Okay, and then like speaking of like fun, like older series, I got a bunch, and I mean a bunch, of the Sweet Valley High books. So I got a spin-off series, The Unicorn Club, book number 3, The Best Friend Game by Francine Pascal. I have books 1 and 2 on my shelf from a previous trip when I was in Montana. This one I got in Washington, and so I got 1 and 2. Now I have 3. I never read this series when I was a kid, but I was like, why not? If I'm collecting the other books, why not collect those as well? And then some other miscellaneous Sweet Valley books. I have The Senior Year, book 24, Never Let Go. These are harder to find. These and like the Sweet Valley University, they're harder to find than the high school ones. Then I have Sweet Valley Saga, The Wakefields of Sweet Valley, the 5 generations. I have another book. I should have grabbed it. Let me see if I can get it real quick. Wait, here we go. Because I have this other one, The Wakefield Legacy, The Untold Story. So these are different, but they're like, I don't know which one goes first, but now I have both of them. And I think there's only 2 of them. Then I have a Superstar story, Lila's story, which is focusing just on her biography of sorts. She's like the rich, snooty girl of the school. And then we have some super editions, Perfect Summer and Malibu Summer. These would be a perfect read for August, during the hot months of August, although it hasn't been that hot here. It's been very much of a cooler summer. We've had like days where it's got into the 80s, but I feel like most of the time it's been in the 70s. It's not hit 90 only. It's like 2 or 3 times maybe, if not just 1 or 2 times. so yeah, it's been a real nothing to complain about during the summer. Although I know other areas have been hit hard with like this. Like here, it's been extra cold, for July and August. But I know other areas, like either like you're going through extreme floods or extreme heat or drought. I mean, I feel like every area is in its own extremeness in the summer of one variation or the other. Okay, so I found, for the Sweet Valley High books, I found book number 1, Double Love. And this is following two twin sisters share the continuing story of the Wakefield twins and their friends, their laughter, heartaches, and dreams. These are like drama-filled, high school stories. Number 2 is Secrets. What Jessica wants, Jessica gets, even if someone gets hurt. And yes, Jessica very much gets her way. And Elizabeth is like the do-gooder and the straight-A student. And Jessica just wants to party and have fun and hang out with her friends. Playing with Fire, book number 3. Can Jessica play Bruce Patman's game and win? And Bruce Patman, the opposite of Lila, is like the new money, and then Bruce Patman is the older, wealthy money of the area. And then we have number 4, Power Play. The Wakefield twins have taken sides against each other. Number 25, jumping ahead. But I thought it was like really cool that I found the first 4 books. But so let's see, we went, and I don't know how many books are in this series. I read a bunch of these as a kid, but I don't know, but I didn't get them as they were being published. I just was finding them at, the little local thrift stores. So I have no idea how far. I think like maybe 150, 200. I don't know, something like that. Number 25, Nowhere to Run. Will Emily lose everything she loves? And I'm almost at this book. Right now, I think I'm on book like 21 or 22, and I've been reading them for August on my Kindle, but now I have some of the physical books to read. Number 53, Second Chance. Will a normal life make Kristen Thompson happy? Maybe she's some kind of like athlete, a star athlete. Number 61, Patty's life is falling apart. Can Elizabeth help? Boy Trouble. Who's Who? Will the real Jessica please stand up? Book number 62. I like the necklace and all the colors of the 80s. 63, The New Elizabeth. Elizabeth's ready for a change. And this one's a little bit banged up, but it was okay. It's still like the copy itself is readable. Number 64, The Ghost of Trisha Martin. Has Trisha Martin come back to Stephen? And Stephen is the older brother of the twins. The Parent Plot, number 67, The Battle Is On. And then number 76, Miss Teen Sweet Valley, The Battle Is Raging. Okay, is that, what number is this? 67, 76. Okay, they're very similar. The Battle Is On, and then, okay, well, never mind, this is like the parents, so maybe they're pushing their parents against each other, I'm not sure. And then there's this one, it's like that has a different look compared to these. And then the very last group of books is a series that I have never heard of, but they were only like a couple of dollars for the whole stack. And so I was like, okay, let me give this a go. I don't know what order these are in, but they were very much giving me the feeling of the Little House on the Prairie series in a way, or one of those like older series where you're following, or like the Betsy Tacy series where you're following like these young children up until they are adults. So we have, this is the Grandma's Attic series by Arletta Richardson. I didn't look the series up before I bought it, but I was like, oh, for a couple of dollars, I went ahead and got it just based on the covers and the titles, and that's all I know about it. So let me know if you have heard of this series or read this author. But this is stories from the growing up years. Bright red from head to toe. Okay, they find themselves the mothers of a pair of crimson little girls. Maybe they have red hair. I don't know what's going on there. In Grandma's Attic, stories to live, love, laugh, and learn by. An older copy. More stories from Grandma's Attic. So these, I don't know, they just look like very like charming, wholesome stories. Still more stories from Grandma's Attic. Treasures from Grandma. 18 on her own. At Home in North Ranch. New Faces, New Friends. They're owning some kind of farm. And then we have 19 and Wedding Bells Ahead. I'm not sure what order. I'll have to like figure that out. I'm not sure if there's any other books in the series. I might have them all. Hopefully I do, so I can just read them in order. But that is the Grandma's Attic series. And so like this one in particular with this, with her hair and all of that, she's reminding me like Anne of Green Gables. So if it's anything like, if this series is anything like that one, I will highly approve of it. So those are the books I have gotten in from July and August. There will be no more book shopping in the month of August. I hope not. I need to read. And I'm saying that because I didn't spend that much money on these. But it's not that. It's space and just the volume of books I need to read these up. So yes. Again, let me know if you've heard of these books, because a lot of these I just picked off cover buys. I did cover buys. Like, I feel like you can do that when books are just $1 or so. And that's kind of like a fun way of like, you know, taking a gamble and risk on things. Because it's not, like I said, it's not breaking the bank. But anyway, I'll let you go and I'll talk to you soon. Promise this time I am going to make more videos in the coming weeks. Thanks. Talk to you soon.